They take the field for the first time. Here comes a blitz. It's a screen.
So Michigan gets caught here. Obviously, it's a screen play to McCune. You're going to have a double corner blitz. You got the 4 down linemen here. So while it is a quick throw, that's quite a bit of pressure being thrown at Patterson. Plus, you have these 2 linebackers. So the goal for Michigan is to get Mayfield engaged on the right side with this gentleman here. And then you're going to release the 3 interior offensive linemen downfield to deal with any of these second-level guys coming up, reacting to the late release out of McCune here on the right side. So the issue is, obviously you're going to have a lot of pressure initially. This is a lot of pressure for Patterson to deal with, and there's no option but to throw it right now. At the time of release, this defender that Mayfield is engaged with is in the way of Ruiz getting out to this block, as well as with Onwenu. So Onwenu actually, I don't know if he doesn't get enough depth, but really he doesn't have an option to get out to this linebacker. If Onwenu is able to pick up, maybe number 7, Ruiz is able to get out here, it's a different story altogether. That's a lot of open field. Unfortunately, this guy is just too far outside with how this guy engaged both Onwenu and Mayfield here. That blows this up. And given all of the pressure that's coming at Patterson, he has no option but to throw it. You might want to see him throw it at the feet of this guy just because it's dangerous to have all these bodies here. But it's more of just a better call here with the blitz from IU. They and especially this linebacker being here, I'd consider this more unlucky than anything else. But good play by that linebacker to catch McCune here on the screen.
We're starting the game beautifully.
18-yard completion. Now a swing.
This play is actually really beautifully set up. So it's an orbit motion out of DPJ. He'll get thrown the ball right here. You got a single block here from Nico Collins. You got Ronnie Bell coming out here to block anything that flows to this orbit motion. But given the fake to Haskins here, all of the down linemen here, all of this is just to get these defensive linemen fully committed to the run action this way, as well as all of these linebackers, get them reacting this way. Then you really only have 3 defenders, 1, 2, and 3 to deal with, and you can effectively guarantee you're going to get about 7-8 yards on this 1st and 10. So it's a really nicely set up play, and they're really reacting hard, especially with this guy. This guy's not even a factor. So with Ronnie Bell out here, you're looking at probably 8 to 10 yards at least. So the issue here, you'll notice, is that Nico Collins doesn't actually get his block. Number 17 has his eyes in the backfield. I feel like if this is the case and I'm Nico Collins, I need to do an inside release. I don't know why this isn't an inside release right away. I'm sure this looks like it's designed, right? I don't see anyone that Patterson is really reading here. This is a design screen out to DPJ. So I don't know why there's an outside release for Collins, especially with this guy's eyes, like I said, in the backfield. So Collins doesn't pick him up, and he tackles him for 5 yards in the backfield. So I don't know if this is just a missed assignment here from Nico Collins, or he wasn't expecting number 17 to completely abandon a drop, So given that combination, this guy is a free pass to the backfield, and he takes it. So unfortunate, because as you can see, Ronnie Bell is set up really well on the outside, and if there's a block right here for Nico Collins, that's a lot of room for DPJ down the sideline. So more unfortunate than anything else. But yeah.
Has also been the key story.
And they've learned a new system. They've gone to.
So to me, this has to be a missed RPO. So let's look at the blocking assignments for Michigan. Runyon 1-on-1, Bredesen and Ruiz 1-on-1 here before a drop off for the second level here. You're going to have 1-on-1 blocks here with Onwenu, Mayfield, and then McCune will get out to this edge defender. You'll have Ben Mason coming across formation and a little counter action to Charbonnet here. Looks like the eyes for Patterson go immediately to this guy. This is the conflict player. If he drops into coverage, you give to Charbonnet. If he comes up, you throw the ball to outside receiver on a slant. That's the RPO action here. So this guy is in pass coverage, right? He's not coming up in run support whatsoever. That gives you a numbers advantage here in the box. Patterson doesn't give it despite that, and I don't know if that's by design or if that's just a miss here from Patterson. It definitely looks like Ben Mason, isn't going out on a route. So it looks like this was, the run was an option here, not just a called play action. So given you have this edge defender as well, this even screams more, a give to Charbonnet here will give you a lot. This guy is screaming upfield. He's not likely to get to Charbonnet here on the keep. It looks like he's going for Patterson all the way. So it looks like Charbonnet would have been able to make something out of this, given the handoff. Instead, Patterson sees the blitz late, and no one can really expect Charbonnet, in my opinion, to pick this blitz up. The action here is this sort of counter action, so expecting Charbonnet to get over to this blitz pickup just isn't realistic. Looking at the routes, like I said, the player that is in conflict is this number 47, and you have DPJ on a slant coming across here. So given he's in coverage here, it should have been a give to Charbonnet, I think, because this guy is, at the time of this throw, this isn't really an option to DPJ. So I think it's a miss from Patterson, but hard to say if it was called a pass all the way.
Back with 4 receivers, 2 to each side. They bring pressure again. Patterson just throws it away.
Effectively a sack here, since this was called a intentional grounding, so 5 on pressure. These defensive linemen slashing to their right, and that's to open up the defensive tackle 98 looping all the way around to the outside here. That'll leave Bredesen with no one to block. That's the goal here, and the number 6 will engage with John Ronan Jr. The goal here is that 98 forces Ruiz to pass off this guy to Bredesen. It forces Onwenu to pass this guy off to Ruiz, and it passes Mayfield to pass off 99 to Onwenu. So it's a 3-person pass off. That's a lot of bodies to pass off, and as you can see, it doesn't get there. At the time of Patterson about to throw it away, this guy is getting a clear path to Patterson. So let's watch these handoffs. Bredesen is probably calling something out to Onwenu. So Ruiz does a good job of passing off this guy slashing across his face, and Bredesen will pick him up. That's really good. So he has him accounted for. As 98 crosses his face, a couple things happen. You got Onwenu with his eyes on this defender, and Ruiz is shifting to take this guy. So he's shifting over as well. Good job by Onwenu to pass him off. So now you have this guy accounted for. Now the final pass off of Onwenu to here. Look at the technique out of Mayfield here on the right side. He is way too vertical. He is getting rocked back by this defensive end. His hands are inside here. He is losing that battle. So as and when you tries to pass this guy off, Mayfield simply isn't in a position to handle that pass off, and that allows 98 to get around the edge. All right, looking at the routes of this play, everything is longer developing. You got Tariq Black down the edge here, and then it looks like you have a couple deeper routes here with a post route out of DPJ here in the slot. Looks like the read was initially on the safety, but again, as he's looking over here, probably towards one of these routes, there's nothing really open right away, at least not on the left side. By the time he tries to look right, he's got a guy in his face. He has to throw it away. Unfortunately, he's still in the pocket, no one in the area. Intentional grounding.
Patterson with time, throws near.
Late throw to Ronnie Bell here. That's bobbled on the sideline. Let's look at the pressure here. Indiana's sending 5, little blitz here out of this linebacker. So these 5 guys are coming. This linebacker is actually going to drop back in zone. So you're going to have 5 on 5 because Charbonnet is going out on a route. So Michigan does really well here in pass protection. Everyone is accounted for at the time of the throw. Pocket is looking really nice. You can see that especially Runyon does a good job. But everyone's engaged, no pressure whatsoever. And Patterson has plenty of time to throw. So McCune's going across the middle. He's going to stop here kind of as a pick route. You'll have a little stutter release here for Nico Collins before a shallow cross. Outside release here for Tariq Black before he comes on an in route. And then Ronnie Bell is the primary option here on a crossing route across the middle of the field. And like I said, Charbonnet out to the flat late for a check down here. So initially the eyes for Patterson, let me back up here. Initially the eyes for Patterson look to go straight to this safety, right? Looks like he's looking here, ensuring that this guy drops, and that'll likely open something across the middle. If he doesn't drop all the way, that can open up Tariq Black. Essentially, this guy determines what's happening on these crossing routes. You got multiple levels here between Tariq Black and Ronnie Bell. Now he's shifting to the safety across the middle. This will impact his first read for Ronnie Bell. He might be scared that this linebacker is here and kind of shifting here. I think there's plenty of room to throw to this area with a little bit of loft, but something spooked Patterson. You can see he got a little bit of happy feet there. Wasn't really comfortable. And then the other thing to point out is if he checks down, if he wasn't comfortable, this is a perfect check down. No one's here. This guy is completely vacating. This guy has Tariq Black in the area, so this is likely a 20-yard play to Charbonnet. He locks onto Ronnie Bell a bit too far. Really good throw, though. All things considered, this is where the ball had to be. Ronnie Bell had a chance at it. It wasn't tipped or anything, so would expect him to come up with that most of the time. Good attempt, but yeah, throw should have been a little bit earlier here.
Coach Allen is a hard guy not to like. It's clear the players like him a lot.
3rd and 4 towards the end of the half. This is more because Michigan decided not to go for it, but let's look at the blocking scheme for Michigan. So this is the play side here. It's going to True Wilson off the left side here. Pin and pull. You're going to have a double on the left side between McCune and John Roney Jr. On this gentleman, you're leaving this guy unblocked to come upfield. That's who Bredesen will pick up on his kickout block on the edge. You'll have Onwenu, he's the puller, first guy through the hole. He's picking up the first guy he sees. It should be 27 in this case. One-on-one block with Ruiz, and 73 Mayfield is just filling this gap left from Onwenu on the backside, trying to get any backside flowers here, stopping them from having an impact on the play. So let's first look at the pullers here. So Bredesen does a really good job here. Something I don't like about Onwenu here, he gets way too much depth. He should be more flush with the line. Since he has way too much depth, he's not getting through the line as quick as he should here. True Wilson is right behind him. He cannot cut off of this block. If Onwenu is up here, he's already deciding, okay, I have 27 right here, and now True Wilson can make a cut to the outside. He can be more decisive with his running. Instead, it takes a long time. 27 ends up making the tackle, and 47 comes from behind and assists in the tackle because True Wilson couldn't make that decisive cut off of Onwenu. Besides that, the double does well here between Mayfield and McCune. I'd like to see McCune actually pick up number 4 flowing here. McCune doesn't actually pick anyone up here, so that's a couple guys that go past him. Backside, I would like to see Mayfield. He's IDing number 4 here. If he gets a little bit more depth, he might be able to get a chip on 47, who assists in this tackle. Besides that, everyone else does fine. Ruiz does well. McCune gets a pancake. I don't blame the running from True Wilson.
This penalty gives Michigan a first down out at the 36-yard line. And they want to keep chucking it deep, and why not? Off the
decent ball just off the fingertips here of Ronnie Bell. Indiana is going to send 4 here on the pass rush. Nothing too exotic. Michigan keeps in McCune on pass blocking, so you're going to have 6 against 4 here. Michigan does really well. Play action, so it's a little bit longer developing, but McCune especially does a good job on the right side here. Nothing getting through on the left side. At the time of the throw, there's no issues with protection. This is plenty of a decent pocket enough for Patterson. Looking at the routes, you're going to have DPJ here kind of on a deep crossing route. You're going to have Ronnie Bell running this post route across the middle here. Hard to say what Tariq Black is doing. Looks like he's running sort of a inside release go route, but we don't really have the full picture here. I think with the deep cross from DPJ, it makes sense for Tariq Black to run this just in case of the safety, vacate him for a late developing crossing route for DPJ. So I think that's why that would be a go route. So again, good protection. Eyes all the way for Patterson. Look to be on this safety, making sure. Actually, no, he's probably looking at the other safety to check if this crossing route will be open, since that's a really tough thing for Ronnie Bell to cut across the field on his post pattern in single coverage. That guy's going to be a step behind, as he is, since that safety followed DPJ on that route. So this is the right read for Patterson throw is just a bit out of his reach. I'd say this is half of an overthrow, half of a catch. Some people say if it hits your hands, you got to catch it. I agree. It could have been a little bit better of a throw, but take some and leave some. But yeah, overall, not super frustrated. It was the right read, right throw, just a little bit off target.
Haskins buried.
Wildcat here on 3rd and 3. Let's look at the backside first. So this is stretched to the right. So Haskins is just keeping. He's looking to go around the edge right behind Ben Mason on the outside here, right? So backside, let's look at the backside first. We'll get to these guys later. So all of these guys right here are just about not allowing anything backside, right? So all three of the guys here working across the formation here, not letting anything flow backside. It's a little bit longer time in the backfield on this, so just don't allow anything from this side, and they do that. They just shade hard right, don't allow any of these guys through. Mission accomplished from those three. Looking at this block, this is a really big block for Bredesen and Ruiz. They want to get as much motion out of this nose tackle. They may not be able to get to this linebacker here, but they essentially want to create this block right here. Don't let these guys flow to the play cleanly. If you get enough push on this nose tackle, that will create a natural block for anyone flowing on the backside on the second level here, and they do pretty well. Ruiz is getting there. This guy has a tough path to actually get to this play before 3 yards are picked up. So it's a good job from those two to actually get to that point. At this point, this guy, if this run is actually getting to the outside like it's designed, this guy is kind of lost in the wash already. Front side is where things go wrong. So when you has this guy one-on-one, he does fine. Mayfield just cuts way too hard. Number 87, he's a shifty guy, this Chase Winovich looking dude. He's more of a linebacker, and he just makes a nice move inside. Mayfield takes one step outside, and then he has to try to redirect, and this guy just shoots the gap. That's where this play goes wrong. If Mayfield picks this guy up, just eliminate him real quick. You got Ben Mason to the outside to pick up this gentleman flowing this way, and then you have Haskins just right behind him. Nico Collins is on the outside over here as well, blocking. So if this is there, this play is set up for probably a big gain. It looks like this is all accounted for, at least the 3 yards on 3rd down here. So it's on Mayfield here. He doesn't pick up that block, and that blows up the entire play. You'd like to see him have a little better technique there, but a good play by the defender.
And Alabama today, too, coming out there in the golf cart.
Patterson under duress throws an interception. Micah McPherson.
Clever blitz from Indiana forces a bad throw out of Patterson. You're bringing a corner blitz, number 3, off the edge here. Number 6, defensive end. His whole job is to occupy Jalen Mayfield for this blitz. You're going to send a weird little stunt here on the right side of the defensive line. This big boy is going to slightly slant right before going around the outside here. This guy's whole job is to shoot this gap and just try to get the left tackle Runyon engaged. And then this guy is looping around here to attack the left guard here to force a tougher handoff. So there's a lot of action going around here, and they get home in 2 areas. So this guy gets a good job pushing this gap here that's forcing a tough job from Runyon. So when this guy actually goes around to the outside, that creates a really tough job for Bredesen. He actually follows him, but this guy does eventually get a little bit of pressure on Patterson. On the other side, this stun is pretty tough to pick up because you got Mayfield engaged here. You do have True Wilson coming out here. I think he could have done better to identify this and at least get a chip on him before coming out to the flat here. And then this guy coming across also would eventually get pressure if it got to that point. Looks like there's no one here to get him, but you do have a good push out of Onwenu on this gentleman here to try to free up these bodies on this stunt. So overall, it's a little bit sloppy, but I'd say this is a better designed blitz that forces this into what it was. So a little outside release kind of fade route here for St. Ristel, kind of a go route here for Ronnie Bell. You got an inside release post route. This will be what's thrown to for Giles Jackson. And then similar sort of thing for Tariq Black. I think this is more of a slant, though. So the pressure causes this all the way. It looks like he was trying to just avoid the pressure. But really, there was nothing here across the middle. This is a one route from the defensive back. So not sure exactly what he was looking at. It was garbage time, so hard to get too upset about it. But regardless, pressure got home.